Hello. Let us try to apply the Holt-Winters method of double and triple exponential smoothing on our air passenger data set. So, the first model that I am going to build, which I will call H1, will be on the air passengers data, and I will say alpha, let it be 0.5, beta, let it be 0.3, and gamma, let it be 0.2, and seasonal equals multiplicative. Right. So, now it built a model for me. How did I know these values? These are just reasonable guesses, right. 50% for the actual data value alpha, 30% for the trend component, 20% for the seasonal component, 0.5, 0.3, 0.2, and the seasonal I have chosen as multiplicative instead of additive, because in the STL plot that we saw, the seasonal component was getting amplified, getting magnified with over time in the air passenger data. So, there is probably a multiplicative effect. Now, if I say what is there in H1, it has a number of these things. If we plot the model that we got, right. So, you get this particular plot here. What you see is, you see the red line is able to track the actual data reasonably well, but not so well. The important thing is to see if there is a lag or a phase shift after several cycles, after several years, and in this we see that there is a little bit of it, but even in the last year in this data set, it is still able to match this quite well, not perfectly, but quite well, right. So, that is one aspect of how to do this modeling. Now, suppose I change these values slightly, right. So, as I had mentioned, this is all about doing things by trial and error or iteratively, right. So, I will simply get the earlier one, change this to H2, and then let us say we change the make it additive instead of multiplicative. I will not change any of the other values. H2 is the same as H1, but it is now additive, and if you plot H2, right, you get this particular plot. Which one is better? Clearly, the multiplicative plot was better, because here as we go, there are two problems in this. These sizes are not the same, it is not able to reach the peaks, right. It is, and then there is a slight significant shift or lag. What will it mean for the actual airline which is trying to predict how many passengers are going to travel in June of this year or October of this year or January of next year and so on? They need to do that forecasting to plan their flights, to decide how many aircrafts to procure, to decide how many airport slots to procure, how many pilots to recruit, how many air hostesses to recruit, what should be the price of the ticket, all of this. If there is a shift like this, they are going to end up with the wrong predictions. Instead of peak passenger volume in December, it will say there will be a peak passenger volume in February, and everything will go wrong in their actual business operations, right. So, to do their operations planning, this forecasting has to be fairly accurate. So, in this case, the additive model is not good, right, because of this very significant shift in this. So, H1 was better than H2. Let us try a third model, H3, where I will keep these values, I will do double exponential smoothing. Will go back to, will keep additive, right, but I will make gamma null, no seasonal component, right, only. Now, what will happen if we plot H3? You will notice that it is far worse, right. So, the actual prediction, the red values are not at all matching with the peak values of passenger volumes that actually happen. So, if I continue this, if I project this beyond this curve and use it to do predictions, to do forecast the airline passenger volumes, it will not be accurate. So, this is double exponential smoothing is not adequate, even if I were to change it to multiplicative. Let us try that. You do not have to type in the whole thing. I think it takes if you type in a few letters. So, I will just type in multi instead of multiplicative, and that worked. Now, if I plot it, right, it is better than the previous one, I think, right. So, clearly the seasonality must be multiplicative, even if we do only double exponential smoothing, right. It is not triple, sorry, it is not additive at all for this particular data set. Let us try one or two more. What happens if I were to do single exponential smoothing for this? So, that means I will make beta also null, right. If both alpha and beta are null, then what do we get? Plot H4, right. It's actually working quite well in this case. So, that's the thing about these, some of these built in data sets like the air passenger and the CO2 data. The data sets are so ideal for doing time series analysis, any method seems to work quite well, right. So, maybe one last thing, let us actually do some predictions using this. This seems to work quite well. So, if I now say predict, simply if I say predict H4, it tells me for January 1961 the value will be 446.7712. That means, it is using the model that I built, the Holt Winters model, to predict a future value. The data is there up to December 1960. It is telling me in Jan 1961 the airline passenger volume will be 446,000, 4.46 lakhs, right. Is this right? Is this wrong? What if I wanted to predict more than or using H1, what will I get? 454. Using H2, 456, using H3, 462. Which one is right? Right? And what if I wanted to do a few more? So, if I now say I want to get a prediction for a full year, I can say n dot ahead equals 12. Give me the next 12 values, right. It is going to give me the values for the entire year, January to December of 1961, and you will see that it is telling me when is the peak passenger volume according to this prediction, right. Is that right or wrong? So, it is telling me that January, February and March are the peaks, right. Is that the reality? We do not know, right. So, at this point, having made the prediction, what does the data analyst do? We have to go to the domain expert, we have to go to the business managers of the airline and say, does this make sense to you? Is this reasonable, right. Later we will see some other ways of doing that, but the least we can do is actually go and meet the people, the domain experts, and ask them whether this is right or wrong, right. Now, suppose I want to do prediction for the next 100 years, next 10 years, 120 values instead of 12 values. What will happen? It will simply give me some values. So, the methods will not tell you, that is silly. You cannot use 12 years of data to predict for the next 10 years. It is too far in the future. It will not tell you any of that. It will simply dump some values. As you will see immediately that something has gone wrong really. Beyond about 3 years, it is telling me that the passenger volumes will be negative. What does it even mean, right? It does not make any sense at all. So, after some years the data is all wrong, right? The predictions are all wrong. 1964 January, the passenger volume cannot be minus 8.6, right. So, that is why it is not possible to predict long term in the future, and a good rule of thumb is, if you have data for 100 data points, you should not try to predict beyond 50. So, you should have twice the length of time of historical data to predict the future values for a particular period of time. Right. You might also wonder what happens if I use some extreme values for the alpha, beta and gamma. So, let us go back to our original H1 model. Right. Now, instead of 0.5, suppose I make this 0.75, 75% for the actual data, and then beta will be 0.15, and then gamma is 0.1 or something like this. You will get a model, right. So, if you plot it, right, this also looks reasonably okay, some of the peaks are off, right. So, how do you decide what is the right value? That is where a lot of the skill is required. Of course, today given the computing power that we have, we can actually run it for all possible combinations of alpha, beta and gamma values. You can write a program to pick all combinations of alpha, beta, gamma, and then measure the error between the actual data and this, and you can do some brute force method like that as well, right. So, it is possible to build a model using Holt-Winters and use it for doing forecasting, but a lot of skill, experience and intuition is required to get these parameters right, alpha, beta, gamma, additive versus multiplicative, and how far in the future to project. All of that has to be done carefully. Okay.